Network organization is focused on how we define who we are deploying content to. We are able to associate devices to the following categories: buildings, departments, and network segments. Although buildings and departments are titled as such, they don't necessarily have to tie directly to physical buildings or departments. For example, if your departments are in an elementary school, they may be something like art or science, or you could even use grade levels. We are going to set up a few buildings and departments and then show you how to associate those details to a device record. If you have buildings and departments mapped out on your LDAP server, you will still need to create them here. You'll want to make sure that they are an exact match to your LDAP database so they are able to map together accordingly. Let's start with buildings. Click on the building icon. For this example, we are going to create a building for our Minneapolis office and one for our Eau Claire office. We can create a new building by clicking the plus symbol in the top right corner and entering the necessary information. Once the display name is entered, click Save in the bottom right corner. You can use the clone button again to make a quick new item and click Save one more time. Back in Network Organization, we can also create departments. Click on the Departments button and create the following departments using the plus symbol. The third option in Network Organization is Network Segments. This is where we are able to scope to a group of devices that fall within a specific IP range. You are also able to define the building and the department based on an IP range. For example, if a device enters an identified IP range, it will adjust the building and department on the device record and fall into scope. Click the New button in the top right corner. Choose a display name and begin setting the starting and ending IP ranges. You can also configure which distribution point, what building, and what department will be assigned to that particular network segment. iBeacons are a piece of hardware that emit a Bluetooth radio signal that allows us to enforce an action on a device when it comes within range of that iBeacon. Once added to the Jamf Pro server, an iBeacon becomes available to be used as a scoping mechanism for any configuration profile or application you might be deploying from your Jamf Pro server. Now that we have some content in our network organization, let's assign a user and some location information to a device record. Go ahead and open up the Mobile Devices tab in the upper left corner and run a blank search. Running a blank search will pull up your entire mobile device inventory. We can open up a device record by clicking on the name. Navigate to User and Location on the sidebar. Because we integrated our LDAP server, we are actually able to assign a user directly to a device record. In this case, let's assign Bill Evans to this device. Click on the Edit button in the top right. When prompted, enter the username bevans. By clicking the Search button below the username, this will import Bill's directory information from the LDAP account that we configured earlier. You can see how the full name and email address are now populated. We are also able to assign a building and department here, so let's assign this device to the Field Engineering Department and the Minneapolis building. It's important to remember to always save any changes you make inside of a device record. In this case, the Save button can be found in the top right where the Edit button used to be. Once a device is associated with a building or department, you can easily deploy content to all devices belonging to that particular building or department by scoping it accordingly during your deployment. This concludes Session 3 of the Jamf Primer Sessions. You will be redirected at the end of this session to a web page with notes from today, as well as follow-up items. To review, we looked at 3 things today: Jamf Pro System settings, global management, and network organization. In Jamf Pro System Settings, we discussed how to integrate with an LDAP directory and how to integrate with an SMTP server. In Global Management, we created categories to help keep you and your end users organized. And finally, in Network Organization, we discussed how to set up buildings and departments for organizational purposes, and we discussed setting up network segments for scoping to specific IP ranges. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you soon.